Okay, I'm filming this after the fact with my Weatherby Element shotgun. The stock had come loose and this was shaking. I mean, it was like an 1/8 of an inch gap there, and this was loose here at this seam. And I will show you how I remove the butt end and tighten that down with Loctite on the threads. I looked and looked for good videos, and I found one that was semi-decent, but couldn't find any others. But hopefully you'll find this helpful for tightening that down and solving that problem, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. In my reading, it looks like it's a common problem with this shotgun. It's only a 1.5 years old, so I think it's 2021. It's now November 2022. I've been using it for 2 seasons. Kind of frustrated with the gun, actually. It's semi-good, but it tends to jam and the stock comes loose, and a little frustrated with how much I paid for this. So hopefully this video is helpful. All right, so as I've learned, trial and error here at the end of the gun, there's 2 slits, and inside those slits are the screws that allow me to take this butt plate off. You can see, if just looking at them, if you weren't looking for those slits, then you wouldn't see them. And I actually had to kind of pull a little bit on here to reveal them. So I've never taken the butt plate off a shotgun, so I didn't know this. So I'll get a screwdriver and see what we can do. So you can see, I just use a headlamp to look down in there, and it's a Phillips. So I've just started working that screw out, and it just emerges out of the rubber there. And the other will be the same. All right, this one didn't emerge from the rubber, but it still loosened up. And then as you look down in here, sorry, this is where we're going to tighten things down. And oops, that brace piece is in there. And then this is the screw that was down in there. So it'll cinch down on there. And it has that washer with the teeth on it. And these little imprints on it to cinch down tight. But from what I'm reading online, it's a common problem for this gun to loosen. So other guys just did some Loctite on that and said that it solved the problem. One guy said it solved it for good, and the other guy said he had to go back in later after quite a bit of shooting and tighten it again. So I'm hoping one time gets it done. So I disassembled it thinking I'd have to reach something from the inside, because I didn't read, I couldn't see exactly how to do things. But I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of debris in there. I needed to clean my shotgun anyway. I'm about halfway through this duck hunting season, so I need to give her a clean up. So I think I'm out of Loctite though, so I gotta go run and get some. All right, I went and grabbed some Loctite. The hardware store had Loctite or this Permatex. They were all out of the Loctite, so I grabbed the Permatex. I grabbed the medium strength. I've never used the permanent strength, and I didn't know if I could get a tool down there and torque that off, so I'm going to try the medium, see what happens. One thing I did notice is this interior piece, this whole face, had it slides up and down. So let me see if I can pull it. Yeah, there it is. So it moves in, and so make sure it's cinched in, because I put it together and I thought, oh, that bolt won't reach. But then this pushes down even further. So if this has come out, make sure you push it down and in. So I'm going to try and do this, put this back together again. So again, it's this bolt here is going to cinch down through this plate, which sits in that little housing there, and it screws right into the end here. So with some Loctite, I'm hoping that cinches down nice and tight. Thought about putting something between the 2 faces here to just like give it some type of squeeze and cushion. So it's not hard plastic on hard plastic, but we'll give this a try and see what happens. Real quick before I put this in, this hex screw, it looks like this 6mm handle's gonna just work out perfect. So to get a good torque on there, I would suggest a handle one. Okay, using that wrench, I just cinched that bolt in there. I kept the washer on, put the plate in place, and put a pretty good amount of that Loctite or whatever brand you use, whether it's Loctite brand or Permatex. And my local True Value had both in 2 different spots. And again, I used the medium strength instead of the permanent, which the permanent is usually red, just because I didn't know if the torque strength would unseat it, and I didn't want it to loosen and then be permanently in there. So anyway, well, hopefully this will work, and it's cinched down nice and tight and shouldn't have any problems there. So I'm gonna clean it all up, put it back together. Oh, and then I'll just take my Phillips and reseat this butt plate right there to close it all up. Okay, so that's all reseated. I guess once you've opened that up with some screwdrivers, from that on, you're gonna easily see the 2 slits or holes where the screws go. So shouldn't be a problem though, they're closing back up already. It feels like it's solid. So hopefully that Loctite works out. If not, I'll just undo it again and reseat it. Maybe after doing a little reading, I'll try the red permanent if this doesn't work, but I'd rather not do a permanent Loctite. But I haven't really used it much, so I don't know how permanent it is. Clean all this up and reassemble. Anyway, that's how you tighten up your loosened stock on a Weatherby Element if you're having that problem. And it sounds like others have been having the problem since it came out, just it coming loose. All right, good luck.